That's right, boys. It's time it's time to get to the side of the ring because welcome to the side of Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer summed up WWE's scouting of women wrestlers as follows. Pretty gymnasts. That's what they want from the future of the women's division. I understand. You want them to, not flexible, but, flexible? You know what I mean? You want them to, know how to, flip and twirl and dive and roll. You want them to know how to do the basics, the basics, so that when they take a bump, when they get flipped, they know how to land. They know what to do. They know how to tuck. They know how to, you know what I mean? They know what body parts to, flip around in a certain way so that they don't hurt themselves. Listen, it's better than how it used to be, because back then, you didn't even have to know how to wrestle. I remember back when WWE was just hiring straight up porn stars, because that's what they were doing. They would just hire straight up porn stars or Playboy magazine cover girls and then just put them in the ring and they would be fucking dog shit. Okay, they would be fucking terrible because they don't know how to wrestle and they didn't need to know how to wrestle. They just needed to be put inside of a kiddie pool with mud or get put in a bra and panties match or walk around with fucking Edge or Val Venus or something like that. They didn't need to know how to wrestle. They were just there as I don't even know, but luckily we're not in that era anymore, thank God, and now I feel when we're looking for female wrestlers, we're actually going to get decent female wrestlers who know what the fuck they're doing, okay? That's not to say that because there were obviously some standouts, Trish Stratus, Mickie James, fucking, who else? Who else was out there? Melina, who else? There was a lot of them. I don't remember. I obviously don't remember all of them, but there were some notable standouts back then, and I feel now we're definitely now we don't really have to worry about that now. And considering the fact that they're going with gymnasts, did they have to be pretty? No, but I understand why you want the clicks and whatever. That's not really my prerogative. So, but listen, all right, they're going in the right direction at least. Next, according to Deadline, Warner Brothers Discovery's strategy for TNT and TBS involves an emphasis on cost-effective programming and that, quote, could include wrestling-themed shows as AEW is a major draw, unquote, on those networks. So we talked about this in the last episode. We talked about this on the last episode of The Turnbuckle and how this is going to bode well for AEW and how this is a stark difference to the rumors that were going around that Warner Media was not going to... Okay, well, Warner Brothers Discovery... The point is, Warner Brothers was, as far as I can remember, if I remember this correctly, Warner Brothers was like, hey, I don't know about this. I don't know about this AEW thing. Maybe we're going to, pump the brakes on it a little bit. So I'm glad that this has come out. And if anything, they're stepping down on it even harder, So I look forward, like I said before, I look forward to seeing what Warner Brothers and the company are going to do with AEW as a whole. Next, after the recent accusations EC3 and Patrick Clark made about one another, Sean Ross Sapp tweeted he'd heard Dream was quietly suspended for cocaine use during his time at WWE. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you're going to go out and say, if you're going to do the he said, she said, you should probably not, be quietly suspended for cocaine use during your time at WWE. Because then people are going to be like, all right, well, if that is true about what you said, then... How far can I take your word? You know what I mean? How deep does this rabbit hole go? You know what I mean? And should I even be listening to you? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, man, like I said, I'll take EC3's word. I'll take EC3's word before I take Velveteen Dream's word. But that is just me, okay? Next, per PW Insider, Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai have, quote, all been added to creative plans for tonight's episode of WWE SmackDown. Well, yeah, I mean, fucking Sky and Kai just became the tag team champions, so that should go without saying. Next, Meltzer mentioned that next Friday's Grand Slam episode of AEW Rampage will be 2 hours long. Let's go! I mean, that's obviously not going to be a staple. I fucking hope it is, but that'd be great. Fit more matches. You have more time for angles. This is literally what I was just talking about. I want them to stick to that. That'd be great. Next, Fightful says Triple H wants to make sure the United States Championship is seen as a credible prize. We talked about this earlier on Raw. This is especially important given the part-time schedule of WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns and his lack of appearances on the show. That's a good point. You've got the IC title and the US title. Wouldn't it make more sense to make those like super prominent titles? So while Roman is over here being like part-time and stuff so that nobody really has to think too much about the world titles. Didn't we talk about last time how they booked themselves into a corner with that? Listen, right? Considering how he's going to be handling the minor titles at this point, which I guess you really shouldn't call them the minor titles, but you kind of have to because then what the fuck are those then? What are the world titles that Roman is holding? You know what I mean? So we really have to wait and see. But I look forward to this because it's just going to add more prestige, which, I mean, should have been happening already, but, you know, time will tell in terms of what Triple H is going to do for the titles going forward. And finally, during an interview on the Hannibal TV, Devon Dudley said the Reverend gimmick he used as a singles wrestler in 2002 was Vince McMahon's way of getting back at the Catholic Church for their numerous attacks on WWE programming as being bad for society. Great. So it was just a fuck you. So I like that. Great. I like how Vince, even if you're not in the WWE, Vince is like, oh, that's how you feel, huh? Well, fuck you. We're going to do it like this. Like, bruh. Vince, just do the show. Why are you so concerned about what they're thinking? That's like fucking Jake the Snake coming out with Damien, and PETA is like, oh, you're endangering the snake, and then you do an angle where fucking Jake the Snake eats Damien or something. It's like, bro, just do your show. Ignore them. Who cares? But then again, this is Vince we're talking about, and he can be pretty petty, all right? And yeah, man. Boys, that's it for the rumors. Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer summed up the scouting. Pretty gymnasts, that's what they want, which is fair. It's a lot better than porn stars who don't know what they're doing. According to Deadline, Warner Brothers and TNT involves an emphasis on cost-effective program. I'm trying to like sum it up, but I can't. Warner Brothers Discovery strategy for TNT and TBS involves an emphasis on cost-effective programming. I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to go. After the recent accusations, listen, man. Apparently, Dream was quietly suspended for cocaine use. So automatically, your stock is immediately going down. I'm gonna believe EC3 before I believe anybody else, man. Okay, you're getting arrested in the span of like 10 days. You did cocaine when you were with WWE. Like, bro, I'm not gonna talk to you. All right, I'm gonna talk to EC3. Per PW Insider, Bailey, Sky, and Kai have all been added to creative plans. Which, yeah, duh, man. I could have fucking told you that one. Meltzer mentioned the next fight is Grand Slam. It's going to be 2 hours long for Ravage. Let's go. I'm actually excited about this, okay? And I hope that they stay with that, man. They're probably not going to because it's a pay-per-view and they're probably just going to go back to the 1 hour thing. But I hope that they stick with it. That'd be great. Fightful Triple H wants to make the U.S. Championship a more credible prize on Raw, which is fair because of how the world titles are being treated right now. You know, because of the fact that they booked themselves into a corner, so it would make more sense to make the minor titles more credible, which is completely understandable. And finally, during an interview on the Hannibal TV, Devon Dudley says the Reverend gimmick was Vince McMahon's way of getting back at the Catholic Church. Vince is a petty man. I'm not completely surprised, okay? It was really dumb and a waste of time to do that, but you know what? Whatever, okay? And also, I mean, I don't know. You could argue that was probably a good thing because it was a very notable gimmick that my man, that Devon Dudley had. I mean, if the Catholic Church didn't say anything, though, I guess that means that Devon Dudley would have never had that Reverend gimmick. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how they would have... I'm curious to see what they would have done with him if the Catholic Church didn't say anything. Interesting. Boys, that's it for the rumors, okay? Shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.